One thing is for sure, war is changing, especially when it comes to technology. That's why our expert in this field from the Pittsburgh Technology Council, the CEO of that council, Audrey Russo, joins me now on KDK, the Metropolitan Window video screen, where you can see her and hear this interview simultaneously by going to kdkradio.com and clicking on KDK Watch. So that's good news, Audrey, about the ceasefire. But let's be realistic. As I've been saying on my social media platforms throughout the day promoting your appearance, warfare is totally different now. You have that generation like my children who grew up playing Xbox and PlayStation and working those joysticks. They are the ones piloting these drones, and in some cases, thousands of miles away from the front line and even separated by an ocean. So we are headed in the direction of technology basically being the foot soldiers of the future. Let's talk AI, let's talk technology, and let's talk about modern warfare. Good evening.
Good evening. So where do you want to start?
Let's talk about drones and how they've become so significant. We hear what's happening in Ukraine. We hear of the death and destruction, but how these drones are being manipulated, being able to go to places where no soldier or piece of machinery could ever go. So let's talk about drones and how they're being used in modern warfare.
That's pretty incredible. There's a couple of companies, even locally, if people are listening, you should look up KEF Robotics, KEF. They've been pretty active with everything going on in the Ukraine, as well as near-Earth autonomy, which is low-flying aircraft. So we have a lot of people in this region who have been working for a long time trying to figure out how to keep our people who are serving our nation safe. And so whether that means making sure that people who are making decisions in the line of fire, so to speak, that they have data that allows them to make decisions remotely. So that's been going on for a while. I even worked for a company called Maya Design back when I moved here. And we actually worked on, what we called, disparate data now and disconnected data, and allowing those people to work in the fields and have command and control remotely. So this has been going on for a while. Now with the advent of the rapid opportunities across tech, we're seeing lots of different ways that people can keep themselves safe. I mean, everyone wants people to be safe, right? I mean, fighting wars and what's going on right now is not something that we should be cheering about. No life is less precious, but so be it. We're in the throes of some really serious political situation that could implode. And we've seen what's happened in Iran over the last week. We've seen it over the last, 3 to 4 decades. We have technology that is available now that people are working on each and every day. And the Department of Defense is very interested in these new innovations. They've put together, strategies called like defense innovation units, on-ramps, so that they can understand what kind of technology is percolating all over the United States and create pathways that are easier for technology to be leveraged in the departments. So that's going on, and that's really picked up its pace. It's picked up its pace because leaders, understand that people who are coming into working in the armed forces, they want technology. You mentioned the example about your kids, right? They were brought up, they're using these things. That's the expectation. People expect that there's going to be that kind of tools, those kinds of tools that whether it's, during safe times or whether it's during the times that we are in right now, like what's going on in Iran. And we saw the leverage of technology even over these last few days. So, the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, we see that they are interested in making sure that these tools are available and create the level of sophistication so that we keep people safe and we have precision. This is part of a national security strategy that we have to embrace, and we can see that it is being embraced. And we have big institutions, such as the Department of Defense, that are asking themselves, how can they be smarter? How can they be more efficient? And how can they leverage innovation so that their people have the tools and don't put people unnecessarily in harm's way? So it is part of national security, right? I mean, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be someone whose family came from dire situations and always said that, let's never forget. But even we can't forget, because look what's happening right now, in the Middle East. And we're seeing it live. We're seeing it, you can watch, I don't know, I mean, you can watch right now live, missiles. There's missile tracking, and you can watch it. You and I can sit down and, we can have it on all night long and see the missiles and see the domes and see the shrapnel, falling, and we can see things being blown up. It's very real. And the Department of Defense is saying we've got to have access to innovation. We've got to make sure that we have those tools, and the expectation of people who are in the military want that and require that. And if you look at the maneuvers from the other day in Iran, that was with incredible precision. An incredible amount of technology was used to make sure that kind of precision occurred. Again, I'm not being an advocate for war. I'm not being an advocate for people dying under these horrible situations, but this is where we are. This is where we are right now.
Always so eloquent and to the point. Speaking in layman terms, she is from the Pittsburgh Technology Council, Audrey Russo, their CEO. One last thing, the thing that really has always kind of kept us safe in our minds, thinking they'll never have the ability to launch one of these to do any damage if they develop a nuclear weapon. But what people need to understand, everyone has technology, and one of the things that technology will enable many of these weapons to do moving forward is launching capability. So that's probably one of the reasons why push came to shove as far as trying to shut them down developing a nuclear weapon, because they now have an opportunity to launch these weapons as modern technology is moving forward, something they didn't have before. Audrey.
Right. That's true. I mean, the tools, it's all about the tools, right? I mean, and you've been someone who's very intrigued by tools, whether it's artificial intelligence or it's different kind of technology, it's the tools. And now everyone can have those tools, both for good and not good. And we're going to see, some transformation about the not good use of tools to the good use of tools. And everyone has access to that. They have access to that, whether they know it or not.
Last thing, let me jump in. I got to get this in here before I say goodnight to you. Do you think we'll ever get to a place where AI will have like robotic foot soldiers? Not in our lifetime, or at least my lifetime, but do you think that could,
I hope so.
Do you think that could happen?
I hope so. Absolutely. I hope so. I think that's absolutely possible. Follow a company called Anduril, see what they're doing with robots and, machine learning and autonomy. I hope so. I think there will become a time where we don't want to put people in harm's way, right? We don't want to lose our soldiers. We don't want people to die. And I hope that we can really leverage autonomy for that purpose.
Hey, I really appreciate what you do.
Not a proponent of war. I mean, I just want to lay that out. I'm just a pragmatist. This is where we are right now.
Well, listen, I think about my children, these games, and how I would watch them play things like Call of Duty and that. It's talk about everything right in the world. I think will be a safer world because technology will be great around the world, and it may force a lot of standoffs, and it may make a lot of governments rethink the possibility of war. So interesting stuff. I'm going to pick up with this and other things on the other side of the break. But listen, I know your time's valuable. You had a busy day today. You and Jonathan Kirsting every Sunday after the 6 a.m. news, Tech Vibe Radio. I never miss it. Thank you, Audrey, for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Audrey,
thanks for caring.
You bet. Audrey Russo, Tech Vibe Radio, of course, every Sunday after the 6 a.m. news, Pittsburgh Technology Council.